Yo guys, it's your main man here. Double H, have that flipping hope. Yes, I have a flipping lemonade here. But as you know, guys, I am not alone, man. I am not alone, man. Let me if I can actually get that shit. So obviously we're pretty much with this daily live shows, and I remember to you guys is that this is gonna be different guests, different people, guys you know from the hangouts, some guys you don't even know from the hangouts, maybe even some other. Look, who cares? It's just what look. Kante, if Kante goes to Real Madrid, as Montaz says, treble, loading as it says. But I am joined by my good man here, Mr. Ford, man. So Ford, say what up, man.
What's up? How you doing? Different setup, but I like it.
No. The difference is doing. So how have you been, man? How have you been? How is life? How is the good life for a young Ford child like yourself?
Good. International break's a bit jarring as usual, but no, all good.
Okay, man. All right. So let's just tell you what's going to be happening on our show, man. So basically, we are going to be talking about Kante to Real Madrid. We're also going to be talking about De Gea getting injured, which means that United might have to use the forfeit rule. They may really need to actually have to use the forfeit rule because I think those guys are going to be completely screwed. Also, then we're also going to obviously, take in your questions, your thoughts, but also so our main topic, this is something that will be happening forthcoming, is where we now look at two legends and we compare them. We compare them and say how good are these two legends and so forth. And for this one, we're gonna be doing what's it called? Pirlo against Xavi, which has been something that's happened because I have not spoken about this in detail with Ford. So I don't know what Ford is going to say, but hopefully Ford is going to pretty much be riding with me on this because there is a right answer. So without further ado, man, let us now get down to our first topic of the day, man. So the reports have been out. Real Madrid are serious in trying to get your boy N'Golo. They want N'Golo. They want to go. So this is the idea. Now, obviously, Ford can obviously tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm right. It's going to be a 80-something million, which bid that they're going to put in with James Rodriguez. So it's James Rodriguez plus cash. The number I saw brand round was 80 mil. Alongside that, I think we've already discussed this on the Hangouts. Kante is a singular individual difference maker, and he is worth 2, 3, 4 players. Real Madrid must be on crack. They must be on crack because to think for one second, you can get Kante. No offense to James Rodriguez. And I'm sure I'm going to bring it for anything. No offense to James Rodriguez, but you think that you can somehow, some way, take Kante away, and then give Chelsea James Rodriguez? I mean, look, for me, that's bogus because in my view, and I'll pass over to Ford, 150 minimum. 150 minimum. Really 190. But let's be friendly because again, nobody ever says to me. But let's just be friendly because it's almost Christmas and everything, and I'm feeling in the festive mood. 150 minimum. Forget whatever play it is. Let's deal with the cash. 150 minimum. So first of all, Ford, let me ask you this. So 2 questions. How likely do you think this is going to happen? Secondly, what price, if there is a price, would you put on Kante's head?
First and foremost, the deal itself that's being mentioned is absurd. I mean, James Rodriguez in replacement for Kante, 80 million. Like, I think it's clear to understand that Real Madrid want to get James Rodriguez off his books. Coutinho, I think he plays a factor in terms of how good he's been at Bayern Munich so far this season. So they're not going to go back in for Rodriguez. They need to get Rodriguez off the books, and swapping him for Kante would be a very shrewd move on Real Madrid's part. And I think Kante would add a lot to that Real Madrid midfield. But from Chelsea's perspective, there's no way we're going to release Kante for 80 million plus a player that we don't need in that position. We've already got Mason Mount having a great season.
Okay, wait. Let me hit you on that then. As of right now in 2019, who do you take? Mason Mount or James Rodriguez in the number 10 position?
I mean, don't get me wrong. James Rodriguez has a great pedigree compared to Mason Mount.
Choose one. Don't give me a soliloquy. Choose one. James Rodriguez or Mount right now, if you had to choose.
I mean, as a Chelsea fan and looking from the Chelsea perspective, of course I'm going to keep Mason Mount because he's younger. He's got a high ceiling. I'm not saying he's a better player or will be a better player than James Rodriguez, but obviously at the club right now, he's not going to cost us anything to keep him, so it makes no sense to bring in James Rodriguez. And also, having said Mason Mount, obviously having a great season so far, there's also Ruben Loftus-Cheek to come back into that team. So adding James Rodriguez to that equation doesn't really add up for me. And to your second point of your question, is how much Kante is worth. For me, at least minimum 180 million, minimum. Bear in mind, he's in the prime of his career right now. And I mean, we both saw that Super Cup game. In fact, even both games against Liverpool this season, the reigning champions of Europe. Kante was easily man of the match in both games. You saw his performances, and for me, I don't see him even slowing down at the age of 28. I think he's got a lot to offer to any team, and especially Real Madrid, with how they play, with how expansive that their team moves up the field, with how high a line that they play. Kante mopping up in the middle of that midfield to then release it to like some Modric, Cruz to play, obviously Hazard in the final third. I feel like it will be a shrewd move for Real Madrid, and for us to let go of our most marquee player, it would be a shame, especially given that we've already sold Hazard. Selling your next best player again the season after that would only make us a selling club, and we don't want to go down the same route that Arsenal went in recent years. So, for me, the move at all doesn't really add up, especially on Chelsea's behalf.
So let me spice things up then.
Alright.
Is
I
there
like my spice.
okay, no, you will like the spice then. Mm-hmm. Is there a price on Kante? Does Kante have a price? Ooh. Or is this priceless? Is he far too worth?
For me, he's priceless. But you know what's interesting? Is in the Chelsea community, I've seen a lot of talks about, you know what, is it...
Wait, by the way, someone said no need to shade Arsenal. So
it's always need to shade Arsenal. Come on, guys.
No, look, I'm just reading the comments, bro. So
you know me, when I come to the show, there's always going to be a bit of Arsenal shade, if not some Tottenham shade. But to the point, for me, I've actually seen in the Chelsea community people saying that they would be willing to let Kante go for the right price, which I think is absurd. Personally, people saying that he's starting to slow down, he's been getting injuries, but if you look at it, he's only been getting injured because of how vital he is to this team. As soon as he's even remotely fit, we rush him straight back in, and he's been able to perform, but he's still picking up these niggling injuries. So, and again, if you look at it, if we're going to go and sell Kante, that automatically for me makes us a bit of a selling club. We're now selling our best player back-to-back seasons. And then who are you going to get to replace him? Because he's a one-of-a-kind player.
No.
To replace somebody
he's irreplaceable. Let me just hit the super chat here that is pertaining to this. Thank you very much, Josh Bond, for your $4.99 super chat. Josh Bond is a Patreon. Oh, what am I doing like that? Josh Bond is a Patreon member. So Josh Bond, thank you very much for your patronage and your $4.99 donation. Hanif MK, thank you very much for your donation again. Your I don't know what currency that is, but it looks like a python. So thank you very much for your 60 python donation. So Hanif MK says 200 million for Kante. That's not shocking. That's not shocking.
That's a good amount.
Wait. I saw a bit of a hesitation. What was that hesitation about? What was that?
For me, as I said, he's priceless for me. But looking at the club, would they want to cash in on Kante? Again, for me, I don't think he's aging at all. I think he can play the way he's playing for another 5-6 years. So for me, I wouldn't cash in. But would the club be tempted potentially? I still think the answer is no, just because again, however much of a marquee player he is to the club. And again, losing Hazard and then Kante back-to-back seasons. Obviously, we also lost Courtois to Real, which you can argue maybe he's worked out in the end because given Courtois' form. But that's losing too many big players for me in the dressing room. I think you still need to keep your experienced players. Also a World Cup winner. So for me, no, 200 million is not enough. For me, priceless. As I said, priceless. This is an interesting one, and I think we have to actually be real with this one because this is a real one. Primera Marmots, thank you for your $5 donation. This is forward. Let's get real because this is a real ask. Chelsea is holding Kante back. No offense, HH. Now forward. Before easy, you're too quick. Easy. Okay. Before you quit, because forward. Primera, thank you. That's a big question. Ford, I want you to take your Chelsea fanship away. I want you to answer this as a football fan, as an objective football fan. So I know it's hard, but try as hard as you can to say, I'm not talking to Ford, the Chelsea fan. I'm talking to Ford, who is extremely astute and knows his footballing stuff like no other. So as a footballing person, if you're Kante,
Real Madrid come in, what do you do? Remember, this is a footballing question. This isn't a fanware question. This is a footballing question. What do you do?
See, there's three perspectives to this deal, which is the Real Madrid perspective, which obviously you want to get Kante, and he fixes their midfield. The Chelsea perspective, which I think is and really definitely should be, you don't want to let go of someone like Kante. Now, to delve into the brilliant man that is N'Golo Kante, would he want to leave? Should he leave? Again, this is a player who's won the league with Leicester, won the league with Chelsea, won the World Cup, and a chance to move to Real Madrid and potentially be a Champions League favourite now in that team. I understand the reason why. I understand the reason why he would want to go if a really good deal came to where Chelsea couldn't say no and were actually open to negotiations. Because to me, if you look at the Chelsea squad, yes, there's a lot of great young players. I think Lampard's building something for the future, but for right now, are Chelsea an elite club? I wouldn't say so right now. It hurts for me to say it. Especially growing up, the Chelsea that I watched, we were an elite club throughout my
the drug.
Trust. Lampard, Terry, Ashley Cole.
But before that, I need to actually get your thoughts on what we talked about on Monday, because the hate on Drogba was awful.
Despicable.
But we'll get that hopefully towards the end.
My point is that if you look at the Chelsea squad right now, how many world class players are in there? I think Kante's a world class player. I would even say Kante's an elite class.
Oh no, elite.
Elite class. There's Kante. World class. I don't think there's anybody even in that. Below that, maybe you have Jorginho.
He's not world class.
No, but not world class. Exactly, not world class.
Like very good, but he's not world class. No.
So for me, Kante, if you want to again follow the Hazard suit, which is to then go to another club where you'll be playing with world class players, I can understand why he would want to leave. Now, given how he's a bit of a humble guy, he doesn't mind the wages that he's on. Maybe he won't want to leave. Maybe he's content at Chelsea. So we'll see. But it's saying if I was Kante, would I leave?
So
I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave.
Wait, why not?
I wouldn't leave because Lampard's building something at the club, and again, given where Kante's come from at Leicester, I feel like he was already happy. I won the league at Leicester, and I can move to a big club in Chelsea. And I think he sees Chelsea as a big club, and I think he'll be happy not to just be a cog in the machine, which he would be at Real Madrid. I think at Chelsea, he's the linchpin of our team. He's the main player. So for me, I would want to stay and actually see and ride it out for at least another season to see where it's going, because we could be a top team in 2-3 years' time when you're seeing Hudson-Odoi come into form. Because bear in mind, not only that we got really top young players, but they're all from the academy. They all know how each other play, and it's something that you can't buy a cohesive team. That's something that just naturally grows over time. So we can build that up. We could be a really top team.
So let's say, because I think we sort of said this question like a bit similar before, but we did it with Pogba. Kante joins Real Madrid. Oh yeah, because he's already coopted, isn't he? So okay, let's just say Kante joins Real Madrid.
He can't be coopted anymore. They removed that rule, so he would be able to still play in the Champions League knockout stages.
So even if he's played for Chelsea, he can still play in the.
The last season that rule was in place was the season Aubameyang went to Arsenal, and since then they thought, you know what, even if you're still in the same competition, you can still play. So they removed that rule now.
Oh wow. Okay. So
let me know in the comments. Maybe I've got that wrong. Maybe that's just Champions League.
So basically, guys in the comments, do they still have this whole cup-tied shenanigans things happening, man? What's it called? Our moderator, Natural Opinion, says one player can for each club.
Yeah, there you go.
So maybe it's only one thing. Okay,
but then how realistic is it for Kante to leave in January? I think that's just off the table.
But look, just based off, just for argument's sake, Kante goes to Real Madrid. What happens? Like, I mean, how much of a difference can he make?
I mean, as Montoya said on the hangout, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't win the treble with Kante in midfield.
Treble?
Yeah, treble. I would say, again, even at the league right now, they're not in great form. They're still top of the table. In the Champions League, they're not having the best start, but they can still pull it around. I think they should still comfortably finish in the top 2. And if you add Kante to that midfield, what Hazard's going to hopefully be able to do, hopefully from a Real Madrid perspective, do in the final third. Obviously, Benzema getting the goals right now. Defensively, they can still improve, and I think they will improve as the season progresses. Then there's no reason why they shouldn't be Champions League favourites at that point.
Okay, look, man. So guys, remember,
he's staying, guys. He's staying. No doubt, Kante is staying.
Look, no. He's staying. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I think he's staying. All right, guys. Let's go to some pretty dark news now. Now, I've been at the forefront of what I like to call the forfeit rule, and I think the forfeit rule is It's not there to discriminate. It's not there to be rude. A forfeit rule is there to help people. I think the forfeit rule is one of the greatest ideas ever. Why FIFA or UEFA don't want to implement and use it? It's fine. And people be like, oh no, you using the forfeit rule, that's just being childish, that's just being stupid. If ever there was a time for the forfeit rule to at least be considered strongly, it is now. David De Gea was injured on duty. Spain, of course, they qualified for the Euros with a last-minute draw thanks to Valencia's Rodrigo against Sweden. But in the process, David De Gea was injured, which means it's great news for Aretha Balaga. It is confirmed De Gea will miss the game on Sunday. That's not it. Labille will miss the game on Sunday. Romero is a decent keeper. But as we said on Monday, the only way that United can win this is the power of Juju infused through David Olusegun De Gea. But before I come to you, my dear friend Ford, let me take a sip of this lemonade first. The only way Man United, and this might be real, the only way Man United win this game, the only way Man United win this game is Juju. That's the only way. Because Romero is decent. Even as bad as David De Gea has been, he ain't no David De Gea. You can insult David De Gea from up, down, sideways, this, that, and everything like that. Pogba is still their best player. Manchester United fans, I am not doing this to be insulting. I'm not doing this to crack a joke. I'm not doing this to be funny. Consider using the forfeit rule, because this is my thing for it. Now, this is the beauty of the forfeit rule. I still have to implement it and bring it to FIFA, UEFA, and FA. If you use the forfeit rule 3-0 standard lubrication, and that's fair. Because forfeit rule is you're so battered. Your players are you're so in such a bad state that you want to save yourself from embarrassment and from your badge possibly being inducted. So you're given a standard lubrication result. Because if Man United go to Old Trafford without Pogba, without David De Gea, they don't play well, and Liverpool forgets about the issues of Old Trafford, and Liverpool are the best Liverpool, and Klopp doesn't second think, minimum baptism. Forward. Thoughts?
I mean, first and foremost, you said this was dark news. I don't see anything dark about this. Like, this is, I mean...
No. Forward. I mean, you can insult... No. United have... I think the German term is Schadenfreude or something. The taking pleasure over repetitive suffering of someone else. Before it was funny, now it's just sad. Because, so what? You want United to now lose like 8-0 at the crib?
Yeah, like, why not?
That's
for me, come on. There's no need for a fourth row. People are going to pay their hard-earned money to go and watch a game between two massive teams in English football and to see what happens. And again, let's play devil's advocate a little bit here. Liverpool's record at Old Trafford isn't actually the greatest over the last few years. I think they've only won there maybe once since Alex Ferguson left.
But actually, let me ask you this, though, because this is what I asked the boys on Monday. Because I've never really understood it. Like, do those things really affect you? I.e., let's say you're a player that's playing as a right now. You didn't play in the previous fixtures from before. Do you still go into that thing of saying, oh, our club hasn't won in a long time? Does that actually still affect you, even if you weren't even playing in all those fixtures?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen many times. I mean, we've seen it even with Arsenal at Old Trafford. We've seen it with United at Stamford Bridge. Like, these things happen, and it's maybe not a mentality you go into the game with, but as the game plays out, and you almost like, it's kind of like a bit of deja vu, where you're like, oh, it's happening again, we're not getting a rubber to green, some of the decisions are going against us, or we just conceded an unlucky goal, we're behind again. You kind of just fall into old habits, and old habits are hard to defeat, you know? So, don't get me wrong, Liverpool are massive favourites going into this game, and with the injuries that United have piled up, like, it's only getting worse. And when you look at it, these injuries aren't just, it's all just bad luck. Ever since, if you remember in January, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took the United players to that training camp in Dubai, And this is obviously at the peak of Oli at the wheel, and United were in great form. And ever since then, we've seen the injuries stack up. We've seen, they're run. I mean, the only two things we've seen consistently since then is bad results and the players' running stats going up. But it seems like he's almost run these guys into the ground. It's funny. He said that he wanted to go implement his philosophy on the team, but I've not seen any real style of play other than maybe the running stats going up. That's about it.
So basically, you're saying Ole is a brick. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, I'm not calling him a brick because we all know he already is a brick. Come on, I don't need to call the kettle black. You know how it is. It's horrible. But then again, it's also glorious to watch. So.
Okay, actually, let me just hit this super chat so we could just maybe before we go into the whole Liverpool United thing. So, thank you. So, Josh Bond with a super chat here. Thank you for your 199 super chats. Ole already making excuses, weak mentality. So, just going off what Josh just said there. Should, let's say, United get circumcised and sodomized on Sunday, should Ole make the excuse that, man, we had a very weak team, this is the best that we could do? Or should it be a case of, you're Manchester United, I didn't beg you to sell Lukaku, I didn't beg you to spend the summer just pretty much doing Daniel James? I didn't beg you to get Daniel James in the summer, I didn't beg you to sell Lukaku in the summer. So should he still use those excuses, or should those excuses not be used because you're flipping Manchester United? Ferguson never used any excuses.
Well, as a great manager once said, there's something called football heritage. And the heritage of this United team isn't that they're a great side. No, we know that they're not a great side. We know that they're in the worst period maybe of the last 30 years. So it is no shock if they're to lose to Liverpool. I wouldn't blame on injuries. I think Oli should just be honest and say, the better team came up and beat us 5-0. And that's probably what is something that could very easily and very realistically happen. So to me, there is no case of blame it on injuries. No, just the better team came to the stadium and won. And ultimately, that's what's likely going to happen given all these the recent form of this United team, given how they've been playing and even the injuries that are building up. Because I said at the start of the season, I thought that they didn't have a top 10 midfield, and that was with Pogba in the midfield. Now taking Pogba out of the equation, McTominay, decent prospect, but not McTominay. Again, who else is in there? Matic 3-4 years ago in his prime, great player. Now, not so much.
For me, I don't even get how Matic is still relevant these days. Personally,
he's not meant to be relevant, but
mentally. Wait. What do you mean by mentally relevant?
He's not meant to be relevant at all. The guy's passing. Even when we won the league under Kante in that season, Kante pretty much carried him through that season, and Chelsea fans were happy to see him go. He had a good first 6 months at United, but after that he withered away. And now he's in the midfield now with McTominay. That's not going to work. Pereira ahead of him, that's not going to work. Mata, another person who hasn't been relevant. I love Mata, but not been relevant for another 3-4 years as well. So looking at that midfield going up against Liverpool, is very functional midfield that's just able to blow teams away. And especially the form that Liverpool are going into this game, I think it's a lot different to last year's game where they were able to eke out a bit of I think it was a bit of a bitty game where it ended 0-0. I think Liverpool are going into this game scoring goals. They're on a record winning streak as well. I think this would equal the record for 18 wins in a row if they win at Old Trafford. So everything's pulling in Liverpool's favour to win, and that's why I expect a very comfortable win. I don't know if it's going to be a circumcision. I want to probably say a lubrication myself. So
okay. So you're going for a Liverpool win, big win.
100%. I'm going to say 4-1.
Wait. Okay. You say 100% then. So but you said 100%, but you just admitted that these whole things of past results still play into people's minds. So why do you think that Liverpool are going to break that course and that thing? Is it because of the injuries, or because Liverpool are just way too good and United are just so trash?
I mean, there's so many factors going into it. There's United injuries for one. There's the fact that Liverpool are on such a great run of form. And not even just the injuries, but just the mentality around the squad. Again, remember De Gea's comments after the Newcastle game where he was almost pointing fingers because he was like, I couldn't save that goal, and look how many chances we were creating. Because if you look at United, defensively, they've not been that bad this season. I think they've actually conceded the least of I'm going to say the top six. They're not really in the top six anymore, but the so-called big six in the league. And going forward, they're just not creating any chances. So as much as maybe you're decent defensively, when you're not scoring goals, naturally you're going to just lose confidence defensively. And with all these injuries piling up, it's just not looking good for United at all.
Also, I mean, I think shout out to Josh Bond just informed me that I think they could break this winning record, 18 wins in a row. I think that's the record.
So they're on 18. I think they're on 17 now. So this would be to equal the record.
So you're saying that they're on... Okay, so wait, are they on 18 now or they're on 17?
17 now. And this will be 18 to equal Man
City. So 18 will be equal or beat?
Equal the record.
And who has the record?
Man City from, I think, 2 years ago in the Centurion season.
I'm pretty sure that this game. I'm pretty sure that they've already equaled the record. I mean, guys in the chat, tell me. I think if they beat United, they break the record. Because people are saying that 17 is the record. Because for me, I thought that 17 was the record, and then 18 is going to beat. So basically, if anybody in the live chat can tell me what the record
regardless
is,
of the point, they're in ridiculously great form, and averse to that, United are in horrible form. So it's
no. I mean, for me, despite all this stuff, I'm still going to say 1-1.
Wow.
Like, do you know why I'm going to say 1-1? Like, I think Liverpool will batter them, destroy them. For me, Juju. I just think because of Juju and those arts, I think somehow, some way, they're going to actually find a way to make it happen.
Even that Man United 11 bench squad stadium has that Juju. I don't see it. I don't see anywhere there that they're going to perform that Juju, especially with De Gea not there.
So
I don't see it.
So basically, if you're United and you're Solskjaer, what tactic do you employ here? So if you're thinking of a strategy to try and win the game, what do you do?
You try to slow the game down as much as possible. You play almost like it's an away game, which kind of suits Ollie's tactics, which is to play on the counter attack. They're going to use the balls over the top to Rashford as much as possible. And if you've seen Liverpool be any kind of chink in the armour this season, it's been with their high line this season. We've seen them be caught out on multiple occasions against Norwich early in the season, against Chelsea as well. So that's a potential for them to obviously give them trouble. We saw what Rashford did to them a couple of years ago when he destroyed Trent on that goal, where they won, I believe it was 2-0. So again, it's possible for United to get a result from this game. I don't think they're going to win it at all, but I just think with how everything's just planning out for them this season, I just see this being a game where we're going to look back at it and say, this was not the beginning of the end, but another nail in the coffin of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
All right. So guys, remember guys, just give your thoughts in the live chat. I'll try and view. I mean, let's just see what guys are thinking. And so your boy Captain Levi says Liverpool will win 5-1. Natural Opinion says, has Ole, aka Gollum, got that ring? HH. you know he actually does look like Gollum, which is crazy. 49 unbeaten though. Well, look, see, that record is probably never going to be beaten in a very long time.
No, I disagree. I've actually gone on record and said that one of these two teams, Liverpool and Man City, will go unbeaten in the next 3 years. I think it's going to happen. But if you look at the consistency of these teams right now, I think it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, so you think because City have already lost, so you think that City will eventually get will eventually do like an unbeaten season?
Yeah, if not City, then Liverpool. I think one of those two teams are bound to go unbeaten in the next 2 or 3 years. As long as Pep or Klopp are still there, and the gap between them and then the rest of the teams in the league is this much, then I think it's just bound to happen.
You know what? As good as what the weird thing is, I feel that both Liverpool and City are better teams within the league based on the points they've accumulated. There was something about that Arsenal team, man. There was something for me. I still see a loss in this Liverpool team. Just one of these games where they'll just lose. Because trust me, it ain't as easy as you think. Basically, it's the unbeaten thing is weird because that Barcelona team is a better team than the Invincibles. You could argue that Real Madrid Champions League team is a better team in many times, but they eventually lost 1 or 2. That Chelsea team that only lost one game.
Yeah.
But these are all better teams. But there was just something about that Arsenal team that they were just able to be like, nah, I ain't going to take that L.
I think they had that real steel about them. Like, when the going got tougher, they got tougher quite a lot of times in that season. They had a lot of draws and a lot of games where they had to claw back in the last few minutes. They had that something about them, and to be honest, I see that in this Liverpool team. I think maybe where I think one thing that can hold them back is maybe the creativity in midfield. But other than that, they have the steel in the back. They have goal scorers. They have match winners, And they obviously have a manager who's able to change it mid-game and win them games even from the bench. So for me, I think it's only a matter of time. Think about it. Even last season, who did they lose to? Only one game. Man City away. So I think it's possible. So
I mean, before we get to like our sort of like debate topic, I'm hearing this whole thing of Allegri to United. I don't know how to say this, so I'll just say it. Allegri is not that great a manager. He took over an already winning team, which was Juventus. Fair enough, he did better in the Champions League than Kante did, but he didn't win it. Okay, so we all know what happened with Allegri and AC Milan when Ibrahimovic left. So what makes you think that Allegri is going to go to this United situation without all of the star players and the monopoly that he had at Juventus and get them to do well? I mean, just speak on that briefly before we go to our
I
final
just think
topic.
it's not a good fit for someone like an Allegri. I think Ed Woodward, as we've seen with the appointment of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants a yes man in there. And somebody who is going to shake it up a bit and wants their own way and wants a certain transfer budget, probably wants a director of football to work alongside. Is Ed Woodward going to allow that? I don't think he's going to allow that. And even then, from even just the actual tactical side of it, is Allegri a really good coach to coach these players out of the rut that they're in?
No.
I don't think so. I think they need an actual coach, someone a bit younger, who's going to be a bit more hands-on with his coaching to get the best out of these players. Because as much as we all lambast this team, and as much as I said that they're not a top 4 team right now in terms of the personnel, there is still a lot more than what we're seeing.
No. Nagelsmann, if you put a Nagelsmann in there, maybe he can be able to do something.
Yeah, but then again, it's that also has you got that experience at the top level, which is why it's going to take. Not going to take one manager to get United out of the rut that they're in. It's going to take maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3, and obviously a lot of really good transfer winners, because over the last few years they've had a lot of bad transfer windows. Now this transfer window was actually a pretty decent one in terms of who they got in the door. But if you look at the price that they got these guys in for, there isn't much resale value for one, and also for two, you got to look at who they let out of the club as well. They let out Lukaku, they let out Sanchez. Yes, not really great players for the team, the system, but those are goals in the team, and also big.
You need a squad. You need a squad. All right, so let's now go to our final topic now, which is something that we'll be doing more on these shows, is comparing players. Pirlo and Xavi. Now, everybody knows where I stand, but I didn't even talk to you about this. So before we even go in there, remember, me and Ford did not discuss it in any detail, so I don't even know where Ford stands in this. So at their best, who do you take? Who is the better central midfielder? Andrea Pirlo or Xavi Hernandez?
I think there's 2 ways to look at it, and
there's only one way, bro.
I think in terms of who was maybe better on the eye, like aesthetically, and maybe who I would rather pay money to go watch in the stadium, it probably would be Andrea Pirlo. Then don't get me wrong, 2 elegant players on the ball, 2 great passers of the ball, almost visionaries, not just in terms of their vision on the pitch, but just how they played the role, and almost like role models to even the next generations and for future generations to come. But I think with Pirlo, he had maybe a little bit more to his game in terms of maybe free kicks, scoring goals, doing more offensively. It just looked better on the eye. But for me, I'm going to go with Xavi. And again, you can argue the point, and I know HH will argue this point to the death, that he played in a better team and a better system. I understand all of that.
I know, he was the system.
But with how Xavi revolutionized the game in midfield from that position, like, I've not seen many players do it to that level.
Wait. Revolutionize. Excuse me. Wait. What do you mean by wait? So you're telling me that before Xavi, nobody did what Xavi did in the central midfield?
People will argue it's because of the Pep system and obviously because of the team that he played in. Again, you can't take away from the players that like Iniesta, even at the time going before that, Deco, Juli, obviously Ronaldinho, Eto'o, all of the players, they all played a massive factor into it. But I've never seen on a consistent basis a central midfielder dominate not just games in general, but dominate big games where they're dominating other top teams in Champions League football, semi-finals, quarterfinals, finals, with 70% possession, 75% possession, where they're just completely taking the game away from their opponents. They weren't just beating teams, they were also taking away their weapons from them. And Xavi was really the main instrument towards that in terms of recycling position in the midfield. How he was always able to beat the press, how he was able to find not just the right pass at the right time, but with the right execution and the right weight of pass. And again, my ace in the hole really, which is what ultimately makes me go to this decision, is when they both had stellar seasons, probably their best seasons, you could argue individually, in 2012. When they met in that Euro 2012 final, and I will never get that out of my head, how Xavi absolutely bossed that game, left Pirlo leaving the pitch in tears, and won the game 4-0. And you can't complain about the teams there, because that Italy team was a very good team. They also met in the group stages and drew 1-1.
Wasn't the best Italy team. No, I mean, I'll respond, but carry on.
They also met in the group stages and drew 1-1. But on the biggest stage where the lights were the brightest, Xavi shone, and he ultimately destroyed Pirlo's team. And that was also a peak Pirlo, 4-0 in the final.
So let me respond to that. I'm not sure whether that was peak Pirlo. That was Pirlo in the twilight of his years. Peak Pirlo, you're looking at peak Pirlo, 2006. Basically, 2005, 06, 07. That was peak Pirlo, where he got to the final with AC Milan. We don't know what happened. He won the World Cup with Italy, and the year after, he then won the Champions League with AC Milan. That was peak Pirlo. What we saw in 2012 was, wow, this guy's career was just extending, similar to what Giggs did, where Giggs was bloody amazing at 37, 38. That wasn't peak Giggs. He was just really good. Peak Giggs was when he was in his 20s.
Yeah, Giggs wasn't all that, but that's a different topic.
Okay, that's a different topic. But my thing about this is this. Xavi, amazing. Superb. Bloody amazing. And I think his ability to control games, keep hold of the ball, always find a man, never lose possession of the ball was stellar and amazing. And he was critical to that system. But my thing is because for me, I've played central midfield before. So whenever I look at games, I look at central midfielders a lot more so than anything else. That's what happens with any guy with any position you play. You always look at the role that you play. My thing is that Xavi was very reliant on that system. You can't put Xavi in an Italy, in a Holland, in a Brazil, and he'll still be that effective. Hey, let me land. You can't put Xavi in a Brazil, in a Netherlands, in a radically different system, and he'll ball. You can put Pirlo in any system, in any team whatsoever, with any players around him, and by himself individually, he's doing that 40-yard crossfield pass, 30-yard crossfield pass. He's dribbling past 2, 3 guys. He may score you that free kick. He may give you that killer real pass. He may give you that 30-yarder that ends up in the roof of the net. He will do something completely outstanding that will wow you. And to this day, my dear friend, to this day, the greatest through ball of all time, was Pirlo's through ball to Grosso 2006 World Cup semi. You ain't seen a better through ball than that. So my thing about it was that Pirlo, I feel that his skill sets could easily translate into any different system, any different team. Xavi, as amazing as he was very amazing. He was dependent on a very particular system and everything working for that system. Spain was just another version of Barcelona with a few Real Madrid players. There was hardly any difference between how Spain played and how Barcelona played. So he was pretty much playing in the same team. AC Milan, Juventus, Italy, these were pretty radically different systems, radically different teams. And the systems and the approaches of Italy, Juventus, and AC Milan were far more different than the approaches of Barcelona and Spain.
Just to keep it on you, just to obviously clarify, why couldn't Xavi, from what you've seen, do it in Brazil, do it in Italy, do it in all these other teams? Why?
Because his game was based upon possession. So for Xavi, he was, I know that I'm going to give the ball to Busquets or Iniesta, I'm going to get it back. Give it to me, get it back. Give it to me, get it back. Get it back, get it back, get it back. Key pass. Get it back, get it back, get it back. Hold. So he had faith that I can give it to these 3-4 guys around me, 4 yards away from me, and I know that I will get it back. So I need guys who know how to keep possession of the ball. Pirlo was, I can do the possession thing. You can't keep possession of the ball. Let me look up. Okay, I can see the guy 40 yards into the corner. Boom, hit it. Basically, let me tell you this. I went to watch Nigeria against Italy live. This was at Craven Cottage. And I was bloody excited. I was excited. Yeah, we're only seeing Nigeria play and everything. And I was hyped. And then, first off, I was like, man, damn it, Pirlo's not playing. I was like, oh, damn, why is not playing? So in that first half, Nigeria were actually pretty good. And it was actually a very 50-50 game. I now know what it means by there is a huge difference watching a match real and watching it on TV. Because once Pirlo came on, the way in which he changed the entirety of the game, it was ridiculous. How this guy, every time he received the ball, he just played at his own pace. And his vision to be able to be like, before he even receives the ball, he already knows that there's a guy 40 yards in the corner of the right wing. As soon as he has the ball, 1 touch, 2 touch, look up, boom, hits it. And the way in which he just spread the game, stretched Nigeria by himself as an individual, it's like, no. This is different. And as good as Xavi is, Xavi as an individual, he can control a game, but Xavi isn't transcendent in the way that Pirlo could be. Hey, bro, keep it real. As good as Xavi was, did you look at the game and say, man, Xavi is just like doing things, he's pulling... Basically, let me give you an example. Has Xavi ever given you a Zidane World Cup 2006 performance against Brazil.
I made this point at the start of this topic, where if I was to pay money to watch somebody in the stadium, I would pay to watch Pirlo over Xavi, just because he's more appeasing on the eye in terms of what on the pitch.
So you'd pay money to watch Xavi, not Pirlo.
No, Pirlo over Xavi.
Okay.
Sense. But again, we're talking about who was the better player. I'm not sure if we're talking about their peak or overall or their career. I'm talking about just overall.
Peak. At the best.
Even at the peak, going over the base of what they've done in their career and peak, I'm still going to pick Xavi just because of what he's been able to do. And for me, when you're looking at great players, because there's no, we're not saying that one's completely better than the other at this, and the other person was bad at this. No, they were both great central midfield players, and I think any team in history of football would have been happy to have either of them in their team, 100%. But
let me respond to that. You raised a very interesting point.
Okay.
Any manager would be happy to have either of them.
Yes, and I know you're going to make the point now. I know you're going to make the point now.
Let me bring the point.
I'll let you land.
So let's say this is my team. I want my team to be a full-on attacking team, where I want my midfield to be attacking, flirting. So I don't really want, these guys don't really keep possession. My team is almost like a Brazil 98 team, where guys are just attacking, moving through, and I want that ball to be direct, and I want a lot of running. I'm not sure Xavi fits in that system, really. But I believe that Pirlo could adapt, because Pirlo could say, all right, this is AC Milan Juventus, more attacking. I now have to tweak and adapt my game to this. Are you saying that Xavi has the same adaptability that Pirlo can?
I think he does have that adaptability, and you look at and you're making the case that Pirlo could play in these systems because he's did it in different teams, and yeah, he could somehow.
The proof is in the pudding, bro.
But then you look at the teams he played in, and look at the midfield components that he had alongside him. He had the likes of Marquisio, Pogba, Vidal, these guys to do his running for him in these kind of teams. And even if you want to play on the front foot, you want to be playing fast football. You want someone like a Xavi who only needs 1 or 2 touches to get it out of his feet quickly. And I've never seen anybody move the ball at such speed, with such quick feet, and also not letting the defender know where he's going to put the ball. Because again, with someone like Xavi, there was no tell. You couldn't get a read on what he was going to do with the ball. And also, when you make the point with Pirlo, again, I look at also what you do in big games, big moments, and I've seen Pirlo also. You could argue the case. I'm not saying it. I would say you could argue the case that he bottled it in big games. Let's not forget he was in that final that you like to talk about so much in 2005, where a certain somebody in the midfield let his team get beat from 3-0 up at halftime, and let his team get beat. Xavi didn't let that happen.
Wait. Is there a bigger game than a World Cup semi, man? Come on, World Cup semi, World Cup. Bro, that guy came clutch in that World Cup semi. In the 90-something minutes extra time. That's past your boy Grow. Bro, come on, give me that. Fabio G. That pass to Fabio G.
That was clutch, but I mean, come on, look at even the times that Xavi and Pirlo have faced each other in competition, in finals, in big finals. Who's coming out on top more often than not? Not just on the scoreline, but even in a midfield battle. It was Xavi. And when you're comparing greats against each other, I have to compare you against what you did versus each other in the biggest moments. And in the biggest moments, more often than not, it was Xavi who came out on top in the midfield battle. Because we're not talking about who looks better on the ball. We're not talking about who you would pay money to see in a stadium. We're not looking about who can even do more. We're just talking about who did it better. And in terms of who was able to get the result more often than not and do it in the big games more often than not, it was Xavi over Pirlo.
Just something we're seeing in the comments. Why the hell am I seeing David Beckham in the comments? People are not trying to compare David Beckham to Xavi. We are talking about elite football players, not models.
E-Man 300, Beckham has better passing than Xavi. I'm not even going to read the rest of what you said because what you just said there is null and void. No. Beckham does not enter this conversation whatsoever.
Okay, he's wrong, but I get where he's coming from. As trash as David Beckham is, and he's trash.
Okay, let's not go that far.
Wait, let me land. As trash as David Beckham is, he has to have some of the most pinpoint. He's probably one of the best long-range passes you've ever seen.
Long passing, yes. Yeah.
Long pass, but
he's up there.
But passing is more detailed than just long range. Passing is more detailed than long range. So in terms of the passing variation, short and long, I'm choosing Xavi and Pirlo over it.
And I think it's your point about passing. It's not just are you able to then just make who can make the better short passing? There's so many elements to short passing. Like are you able to do it with also both your feet?
Yeah.
Are they getting intercepted? Is it
How
easy
quickly
for
are you
the
able
possession?
to do it as well? Are you able to
Exactly.
do it off a
And
dribble as
also
well?
a weight of pass as well. And with Beckham, I mean, I think his best attribute, if anything, was his crossing. But also with crossing, you have time on the ball. Obviously, with the way United played, he had a lot of opportunities to put the ball into the box. And there's plenty of times where he didn't put a great ball in, but because of the whip that he put onto the ball, when it was on the money, it was easy for the striker to put it in the back of the net. But if you're looking at just passing, you can't look any further than Xavi. And for me, Pirlo can enter the conversation, and Beckham does not enter that conversation. He does not. And overall, Beckham was good. He's not trash like some people around here are saying. He's not trash. But
No, but
he's not Xavi levels.
he's the most overrated player of all time. That's a fact.
Well, see, what's that basis on? Is that based on his popularity? Yeah, he's popular.
No.
Yes,
I mean, based on how people talk about him and how they rate him in football terms, he is so far below that.
So what do people say he is compared to what he is?
What is it?
So what do people say he is compared to what you think he is?
People talk of him as one of the best players in his generation. Yo, George, thank you, Mods. Thank you for money the whole thing. Please, guys, don't spam the whole chat. Mods, thank you. Watch for any guys who are spamming the chat. Have a conversation. Don't repeat the same message again. Thank you, Mods. People talk about Beckham as one of the best players of his generation. And then trying to actually put him along the sides of like Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo, and so forth, which is insane. Beckham, for me, was a utility. He was there to do a specific skill, and that was it. Homie couldn't dribble. Homie had zero balance on the ball. Homie had zero mobility on the ball, zero skills on the ball. He was there to cross and there to put in a free kick, and that was it.
I think he has more to his
garbage
game than
football
that. I think
player.
you even look at his work rate off the ball. Like,
Oh, Kimi,
don't
work rate.
But
What do you mean by work rate?
saying
Is this the athletics?
No,
Is
you're
this
saying-
athletics?
You're saying all he had. And don't get me wrong, work rate is like almost a prerequisite for me of any footballer. But with him,
Yeah.
it
Just
was more,
don't even mention
it was
work
more
rate.
than it was more than a normal player. Again, he was averaging the best running stats for United for many years,
my-
even at Real Madrid
Running?
as well. Again and again,
You sound like Terry, by the way.
I ain't ever sound like Terry in my life. But on this, look, there's more to the game than just. I'm not saying just he's running up and down the field. Like you look at Man United right now, I see a lot of headless chickens running up and down the pitch, not doing anything effective. No, with Beckham, it was more than that. Again, he wasn't just a winger because back in the day, you were more of like a wide midfielder. So you're still playing in the midfield, but just on the wide of it. But again, I'm not trying to make the case that Beckham was on the level of a Pirlo or a Xavi. No, but he's not trash, bro. He's not trash.
Okay, so what elements do you say that are Beckham's best elements that say that he deserves to be talked about as a decent player?
I mean, obviously the elements that we've already talked about, which is crossing, free kicks. Again, I mentioned his work rate. I think even
Work rate.
yes, his
Forward.
work rate.
Forward. We're talking
midfielder.
about football. We're not talking about athletics. Wait, if this is Marines, okay, this ain't the Marines. This isn't like CCF or like the Army. Work rates. This is
There's
football.
more to it than just work rate running up and down the pitch. I also look at consistency. Because if you looked at it in his prime seasons at Man United, he was consistent. He was
Consistently doing what?
And not even just consistent. He was produced in big games. How many big moments does David Beckham have? So many big moments, and people even can make the case, which I think you can make the case in an argument for it. I don't think he was deserving of the Ballon d'Or in '99, but he had a season where you could put him in that conversation. He had one of those seasons. For that reason alone, you can't call him trash, bro. You can't.
Okay, so this actually a very interesting conversation is happening in the live chat now because people are just talking about English players lacking technique. No English players are really top 10 of the best technically and everything. This is something I sort of mentioned previously. I can't remember where I mentioned it. I think I mentioned this on the live chat here yesterday. Like, whenever I play football with English people, it's very different from when I play football with Spanish people and Italian people. Because I remember one time when we play with these English guys, and whenever you play with English people, there's a lot of shouting. Like, run, mark him, get in, stalk in here, get him, getting in, stalk it. And there's a lot of just like, and there's a lot of running involved and, hitting the ball upwards. But then when I then played with Italians or Spanish people, it's very technical. There's not that much shouting. There's not that much hitting on the ball. There's not that much running. Everything is just about passing, move, much more dribbling, and much more about the technical skills of the game. I'm serious, have you had that scenario where you've played with English people and you've played with Spanish thingy people? Before I get to you, Marvin, live chat, do you know what I've always said? It's good that Marvin brings this up. Joe Cole is technically is probably technically the best player that I've at England. He's technically the best English player I've ever seen. From a technical point of view, Joe Cole is the best player I've ever seen. From a pure footballing technical point of view, but let me get back to you.
I understand the point you're making, and I think.
Wait. Before you answer, who do you think is the best footballer you've seen from England, technically, from a technical point of view?
I've not put too much thought into it. Obviously, Joe Cole does definitely come into the conversation. I watched him a lot at Chelsea, and some of even the goals that he scored. I think even a goal to win us the league when he completely skinned Rio Ferdinand and put the top corner. Like, just a beautiful player to watch. And I feel really, obviously, injuries affected him a lot, but I also feel like even the way Chelsea used him, and even especially England utilised him, didn't get the best out of him. But definitely one of the best technical players I've seen. Michael Owen, when he was on the emergence, obviously when he won the Ballon d'Or, very good technically as well. But obviously in a different
Michael
way.
What?
Yeah, Michael Owen, when he came out, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Pace merchants.
Again, people will say that, but I think technically what he was able to do, I think I was at a very high level. Obviously, as a striker compared to a winger, it's different. But I think obviously for me, the best technical player that I've seen in an England shirt is Paul Gascoigne, and obviously that's taken a few years back. But there's a reason why people talk about him even up till today.
Oh, no, he was good. He was
a
good.
Different level.
Not as good as Cole though, but he was good.
No, I think he was better than Cole.
Nah.
I think if you watch Gascoigne, and I've obviously watched clips of him, and I watch him obviously at his prime live, but looking at what he was able to do with the ball, I think very few have been able to do it since. But again, obviously going back to the initial question, yeah, I think the culture in England has been different. It's more about, blood and thunder, obviously a lot about work ethic.
Get rid, stock in my.
Play it safe. And again, I'm not trying to demean it, because there's a lot of good truths in that, and that's why, to a degree, you get good English players of a certain level. But obviously, where maybe Spanish and Italian players, where in that same aspect, they may be more shy of the tackle, they're maybe not as brave, which is something that you hear a lot in like English commentary and stuff like that. They're not brave enough, they don't want it enough. Who wants it more? You don't really hear that in like Spanish or Italian commentary. It's true. It's true. There's so much emphasis on that in this country, which is why obviously naturally we don't maybe breed that kind of player, because the culture is different. But when we look at it, it's different. But then if you look at it, the next conversation I want to have about it is I've, again, watching grassroots football, even watching my nephew play on Sundays, and even watching the young players coming up internationally, we're seeing a lot of quality players, not just obviously with that national, not with that pride of like, oh, we're gonna basically run our shirts till they've turned from white to grey, they're gonna just run their socks off, We're actually seeing technical players coming through, like the likes of Phil Ford, the likes of Hudson-Odoi, players who I think, for me, could easily become the next, if anything, the best technical players we've seen in the English shirt. So I think the culture generally now is actually changing.
No, but for me, I think maybe because I don't know whether you remember this program that Rooney did way back, like Rooney's like street footballers or something, and like he basically had all these kids playing, all these English kids, and these guys were really good, technically really good. So they asked them, wait a minute, you guys are so good. Why haven't you gone for youth teams and all this kind of stuff? They said like 11-a-side is boring. That we find 5-a-side, 6-a-side, and playing on the AstroTurf a lot more fun, and we enjoy the game a lot more. Whenever we now go to the 11-a-side, all the fun and the beauty of football, the game, and enjoying the game is taken away. And I remember my brother even made the point. In Holland, Spain, Portugal, and so forth, for kids, they focus on playing the game well. Enjoying the game, but playing football the right way. In England, the focus is on winning.
Yep.
The focus is on getting results. Do what you have to do to win. Should an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old be really caring about winning or losing? For a 7 or 8-year-old, enjoy the flipping game. Because once you're telling a 7 or 8-year-old, be technically good ball control, be good with your right and your left, know how to make a nice intricate pass, know how to walk in tight spaces, and just enjoy the game. If you had that, by the time you now get to like 12, 13, 14, that's how we're not seeing the Hudson-Odois and the Loftus-Cheeks and so forth. And the Phil Foot, the flipping Jadon Sancho, one of my favorite players right now. So I do think that, as you said, it is definitely changing, because I think Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek, Sancho, Foden, Maddison, these guys are, because England actually have their best attacking players they've had in a long time.
Technically, yes. I think obviously if you look at the golden generation, there's a lot of top players like your Lampards, your Gerrards, Beckhams, you've done it for a long period of time. And obviously you had a higher prestige, and obviously what these young players may even have, even as great as good they are technically, these guys are obviously doing it at a top level, at top Premier League level, winning titles, winning Champions Leagues. So they actually technically had a bigger name and maybe did it more at the highest level. But technically, the players coming up right now are obviously of a high level. One name that I purposely left out, which I think is the best technical player that I've seen, other than obviously Paul Gascoigne, is Paul Scholes. Again, the
Everyone, people are pissing that.
You get players almost who don't look like they're from that country. You know, like they could actually, like if Scholes was in a Spanish shirt, you would he's a Spanish player.
Yeah. Like he doesn't play like a typical English player. Scholes was different.
Definitely, but again, for me, the culture definitely is changing. And where before, where you would see like kids are like 9-10 years old playing 11-a-side games, you're not seeing that as much anymore. Now you look at grassroots football, I think they're starting to understand, obviously with St George's Park and with the amount of money that's been invested into actually getting better grassroots football for these younger guys playing football. Because yes, I think for me, a winning mentality, you're almost kind of born with that. I think your environment can change that.
Guys, remember, like the vid, smash the like button. We only have 5-6 minutes left of this stream. If you've not yet liked the vid, like the vid right now before we end the stream. Like that flipping vid. Sorry, continue.
Like I was saying, I think a winning mentality is something that you're kind of born with and which can be improved by the environment that you're in. But I think one thing that can definitely be improved and vastly at a young age is your technical ability. And if you focus kids more on that, you're going to produce more better players naturally. If you look at the Spain squad, they could fill 2, 3, 4 squads of great technical players.
Yeah.
Easily. If you look at the France squad, same there. I think with England, it's now becoming the case, but for many years that wasn't at all the case, especially in midfield. If you look at the midfield, there's only 2 or 3, 4 at a time, if that, really good technical players of at least a decent standard.
And that's the issue. Like England right now, they don't have a midfield because great attacking players, defense is iffy. But apart from Paul Scholes or Paul Gascoigne, how many really good technical midfielders have England had in the mold of a Schweinsteiger, a Xavi, an Iniesta, a Pirlo, a Marco Verratti? Like, I can't even remember the last time an England central midfielder was as complete as a Marco Verratti. But the thing is that they're out there, but they don't want to play 11 aside. Trust me, you go to South London, and go to the AstroTurf or you go to Sunday, you will see guys. These guys are supremely talented, and say, "Yo, man, what?" You're like, "Nah, 11 aside is boring." But if you now take that same player up to Spain, same English player to Spain or Portugal or whatsoever, they would enjoy it because in Spain and Portugal, in their mind is you have to be technically good. You have to be good on the ball. And if you're good on the ball, that is how you're also going to be able to survive and actually survive in the whole thing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even one thing also to look at it, with how it's grown in grassroots football, I think you could see an England team where we actually do see a lot of technical players and actually playing great football because, right now the midfield is horrible. Like when I see Henderson along with Rice in midfield, no, that's still of the dark ages where we're not playing good football at all, and we haven't even got top players in the midfield. But if you look at a midfield potentially in the future, I think a Winks is in the right.
Bro.
I think Winks plays the game.
Bro, how do we go from Iniesta, Verratti to?
Let me land. I'm not even saying Winks is someone I want to be starting, but I'm saying he's in the mode of a player that can play football and is technically good, not great, and I think he can improve, but maybe not at Tottenham. But again, there's players like that who are there to play at the base of the midfield. Again, when we saw him against Bulgaria, obviously Bulgaria to Czech Republic was a lower level, so. Again, naturally, we're going to do better against Bulgaria, but we saw the difference that it made having him in the midfield compared to Declan Rice.
Sorry, somebody in the comments says that, please stop forward. He's going backwards. No, that was for it. No, that was for it. That was a question for the day.
Okay. Mod, ban that guy. But yeah, to my point, midfields of Henderson and Rice, I think that's slowly, the midfields like that are slowly dying out. I think we're going to start seeing more technically proficient players playing them in the midfield for England for the next few years to come, 100%. And I'm not gonna say that that football's coming home, but I think certainly we're gonna see football coming in the right direction for England. Because for me, football coming home doesn't mean that we're the ones. Like if we're the ones who really create football, we should be playing football the right way, not all blood and guts, all running up and down the pitch.
Get rid.
Yeah, all of that. I don't like. The mentality is not the way England should be playing football. We should be playing football the right way, which is actually playing on the front foot, controlling games, playing with technical proficiency, not relying on pace and power, but relying more on our technical ability and also football IQ. And I think slowly but surely it's coming into England. It's coming into this England team.
Yeah. Okay. So look, man. So guys, that rounds off. Our live show for this week. I need to thank Mr. Ford for coming on.
Let's get a couple of questions in. Let's do a couple of questions.
Basically, hopefully because the battery is basically on fully low on this. So guys, get in your question. Wait, someone said Chinese woman. What the hell? So basically, get in your questions right now. With hopefully the battery doesn't run out. So guys, you have about 3-4 minutes to send in some questions to us, and then we can then answer. Are you ready for next Wednesday? So you're free next Wednesday, what, 5 to 6?
Yeah,
5 to 6. Boom. All right. Yeah, man. Chelsea Ajax 5 to 6. It's a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah. Away from home as well.
Bro,
It's gonna be tough, man.
Someone just put in Wings or Pirlo, bro.
This live chat is mad.
I don't listen. Where do you rank Messi as a passer?
He's up there, probably.
Actually, wait. Who do you think is a better passer? Messi or De Bruyne?
Messi. I think Messi's more complete. I think De Bruyne's a better crosser of the ball, but other than that,
Bro, I've seen De Bruyne do some crazy passes, not just crosses, crazy passes.
Crazy passes, yes. But again, some of the passes Messi was even doing last season.
Yeah. No, Messi, no. Like Messi is. Again, I never want to do this whole Messi Cristiano thing and everything, but then when you just look at some of the passes this guy does. And the kinds of the difficulty with passes he does, and say, this guy also dribbles past 4 or 5 guys. This guy also scores crazy amounts of goals. I think that once Messi retires, people were like, bro, we saw one flipping psychopath of a player.
100%. I mean, looking at it on the pitch, there's only certain passes you're able to see, and obviously us watching it from a third eye.
Yeah, remember we see someone, but remember they have like a much lower thingy view, and you have all these players all in front of you.
Yeah,
they don't see it from like a top-down view.
Yeah, we see it from like a bird's eye view, and we're able to see even more passing options. Messi on the pitch is seeing passes that even we can't see, watching it from a bird's eye view, and that's why Messi is just okay. De Bruyne's great, but Messi's on another level.
So let's hit this super chat. Thank you very much, Dungu Kamal, for your $5 super chats. Why wasn't Loftus-Cheek given the full trust at the World Cup?
It's a good question.
Interesting. No, I mean, was he ready? I felt that his game elevated the season that followed after that World Cup. So I don't think he was ready at that World Cup. But, bro, against Croatia, he could have been used. He could have been used.
I think for me, he was coming off the season at loan to Crystal Palace, where again there's another injury hit season. He hit a bit of good form towards the end of that season, but again, given like Lingard and like Dele Alli, who were playing a lot of football at that time, and had pretty good seasons at that point, it was understandable that they were going to be picked ahead of him. So, again, for me, I would have played Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I knew the ability was there even then, and even now, I've seen what he's been able to do the last couple of seasons. Still, while injured and playing half fit at times, I think the quality was definitely there. And I think when it comes to the next World Cup, I think definitely Ruben will be a main starter for England, 100%. All
right, guys, we are out. Just remember, guys. So for extra content and so forth, remember to join the Patreon page. I always post extra content there on the Patreon La Page, videos, so forth, and everything, man. So that is all. It's from us here, and you will see forward again. Remember, guys, follow me on Twitch, because next Wednesday, me and Ford will be doing a live watch of the Chelsea Ajax game live on Twitch. And then after that, immediately after, we'll then do a live reaction to the game. Hopefully, it would be a good result on YouTube. So Wednesday, oh my God, because Wednesday is Chelsea thingy, then Inter Milan Dortmund, 8 p.m. So Wednesday is going to be crazy.
Yeah. And we still have our topic. We still have our little not wager on that. But I told you at Dortmund we're gonna be Inter Milan. You said Inter Milan were a bad matchup, so
yeah. Oh no, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, guys, peace out. Stay true. We'll see you guys. Peace out.